Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Adam Nelson again. Gonna talk to you about some American history. I'm gonna title this American History X. Each tutorial, or talk, whatever you want to call it, I will go over 3 facts that have been believed as true from our history books, because we were taught this in our history books, but it's bullcrap. So, the first one, George Washington. He was not the first president of the United States. He was the 9th. 9. So, you might ask yourself, how is this possible? Okay, well, the United States was established on July 4th, 1776, right? Kinda. It's actually after that. George Washington was inaugurated president 13 years later on April 30th, 1789. During the interviewing years, I say interviewing, not intervening, because he was being literally interviewed by the people who set up our government in the first place. They didn't let George Washington know that he was going to be the leader. They puppetized him like they do of all presidents today, and then they gave him power. What do you know? So, during those years of his review, the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia drew up the Articles of Confederation. This is the first American Constitution, Articles of Confederation. In 1781, a Maryland representative, John Hanson, was elected the first president of the United States under the Congress of Confederation. His official title was President of the United States in Congress Assembled. So he was basically the president of Congress, which was the governmental body, agency of America at that time. Actually, it was the first one, and it's that Congress and Federal Reserve aren't even constitutional. Don't get me into that. It's bullcrap. So anyway, after Hanson, 7 other men served as president. You had Elias Boudinot, Thomas Mifflin, Richard Henry Lee, he had Arthur St. Clair, Nathaniel Graham, John Hancock, and Cyrus Griffin, I believe, was the last one. So in 1787, Congress held a constitutional convention. The delegates wrote the current Constitution, okay, from the Articles of Confederation that were drawn up in Philadelphia in 1789. They ratified this as the United States Constitution in 1788, the following year. The ratified delegates and officials who were elected Washington as our nation, the United States, 9th president. Okay, when they did the actual Constitution, they said, okay, we don't need a president of Congress. We need a president of the United States. So that's what they did. Okay, and they gave him a way total different type of power. The first equatorial type of person in Congress's presidential seats were dictator type people. Their roles were dictators, which the NDAA just gave back to the president, power to enforce martial law and things like that. Okay, so next fact. Okay. I guess this one will be good. Congress did not sign the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, like I just told you. Okay, on July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress, they met in Philadelphia at a Pennsylvania State House, formally adopted, this is where they formally adopted the draft of the Declaration of Independence. Okay? Only John Hancock, as President of Congress at the time, and Charles Thompson, and also we had a Congressional Secretary of State. The only 3 people signed the original Declaration of Independence as it was put into power. Okay? The other people signed it a long time after it was appended. So, that being said, the state of New York did not vote on it until July 9th. Okay? On July 15th, Congress ordered that the Declaration be written on parchment. This is a certain type of, paper for them. Just, okay, it's paper, whatever. And on August 2nd, 50 assembled delegates signed the final document. So, quite a bit after July. Say we got July, August, so basically a month goes by, and then everybody else signs it. Well, not total everybody yet. So the 50 delegates signed the final document. 6 others signed the document on later dates, including some who were not members of Congress when the Declaration was adopted, such as Thomas McKean, who signed his name 5 years later in 1781. Look him up. I'm not going to tell you about who he is, but he has a superpower. They're elites, and if you don't know what the Blue Bloods and all the elite powers of the world are, you need to look into it, because they still exist and they still own at least 70 to 80% of the world's wealth. And what I mean by that is they own way more money than any person that we even know that's rich. These certain families over there in Britain and England and India own so much money in the gold value that we use, the monetary system, that they could literally give everybody in the world $100,000. Just give it to them, and that would only bring them down to about 30% of the world's wealth. They own all the money, all the printing presses, whatever. Don't think that can go on for hours. Go for hours, for real. Last fact of the day: the Battle of Waterloo was not fought at Waterloo. In June 1815, Britain's Duke of Wellington led troops against Napoleon and his troops in a very small valley. Okay? It was 4 miles north of what we know as Waterloo. So actually, let me look in my head real quick. It was 4 miles south, okay, from what we really know as Waterloo. Okay? So in Belgium, between the villages of Ponsoit and Mount Saint-Jean, the battle became known as Waterloo, only possibly because Wellington slept in Waterloo the night before. Okay, this is the military, Britain's Duke. You listen to this guy when he tells you what to do, or you get your head cut off. So he slept in Waterloo the night before, or because after the victory at Waterloo, which wasn't at Waterloo, I forget the name of the town it was in, but it wasn't in Waterloo. He returned to Waterloo to write home into his higher ups over there in Britain what happened, the story, who won, what's the assessment on dead bodies of this and that. So there's your 3 facts for the day. American History X Part 1. These are all facts that have been proven. You cannot debunk any of these. This is all real. These are facts that never made it into the history books for whatever reason. Probably to lead you to believe something else, which is like every other piece of literature that we put our hands on today. Have a good one. Remember, get your Fat Donkey shirts as soon as you can.